Watching Neo Panda. So in this video we are or in this stream we are going to learn about Go language a little bit, and while we are learning we also I also want to complete this course. So I know a little bit of the Go. I don't have a lot of ideas about code. I know how the Go routine is written, how the channel is written. I know that much. Okay, how the syntax is actually look like. Okay, just give me a minute. Yeah, so how the syntax looks like and this kind of stuff I know, but I don't know at very deep level. So what I am going to do, I'm going to learn this concept. Welcome to learn the HTML protocols. Okay, this thing, well, the whole course is written in the Go language, so I think this course is going to help me a lot in learning the Go language, some of the basic syntax of it, and how the Go routine works, how the channels works, this kind of stuff. Yeah. So this course is basically provided by Lab, and the Primogen is actually Primogen also has released like a video just to he was also going to complete this lab. Uh, and this he did created a video where he was completing uh, this course, so we are also going to do that. And let's start with the basic. Okay, so I'm not going to log in into the boot.lab because I don't have a I'm not a membership yet, but I really want to be a member of this course, or I can say this website. I mean, this website is actually great. You can just find a lot of courses there. So learning AWS, which is new, I think the release on March 2026. Yeah, that's wonderful. I think I will be learning this as well. And I've already learning SQL. Fantastic course. I mean, one of the best, I will say. They have also like both Teach and the Primogen have released. They have created the video where they are also teaching completing this course. You can just watch that video and you still learn a lot of stuff from there. And I did complete the learning TypeScript. A wonderful course. Uh, I think one of the best course I've seen on the TypeScript, because I've seen a lot of videos on TypeScript, which is like a garbage somehow. Feel garbage to me because they don't go into where the person should use this concept. Okay, for example, you must have seen like I will say, what is the difference between interface and the type? And most of people will not know what is the difference. If you watch that video or if you just read this course, you're gonna know it. They make sure that. And so we are just going to complete this video, which is learning HTTP client or converting learning the HTTP protocol. This is what we are going to learn. So I'm not going to log in it, but I will highly recommend you to just buy the membership. I'm also going to buy the memberships, but right now I don't have a lot of money. So let's just continue. Okay, so welcome to the startup. So we are going to create a startup. There are a few days in your life more magical than your first day at the startup. My best days have been my first day at startup, my wedding days, and birthday. So I think this is Primogen talking. I don't know. At the startup, your first task is to build okay. So first task is build a HTTP server from the scratch, a multi-billion-dollar existing palace. Okay, but before you begin, the startup has to finalize your hiring first. We screen all our newbies by asking them to build a much simpler protocol first. We will start with reading text from the file and printing it on the console. Okay, so let's create a project. So I need to create a project called HTTP from TCP. So I've did a lot of practice. Okay, before doing this project. Okay, make sure you also do that, because if you are not going to do it, then its course is going to be heavy to you as well. So let me just create a new tmux. Okay, and let have a work, and I just want to go into learnings. So let's go into the learnings. So I think there is two learnings, and where should I place my code? So let's place it the this one, and I'm just going to see. No, not this one. So learning. So I think the desktop one is much empty one. Come on. I thought learning desktop one is a learning one. Yeah. So desktop failure ls. So this one is also failure. Come on. Learning. So if I go into developer, what is that? PWT. Developer and learning desktop PWT. Okay, they both are actually just pointing out to the same path. So I'm just going to do what? Yeah, learning. So I have a learning practice SK. So I'm just going to go here and let me go into and to go back a little bit. So CD. So this one is the small one. So I'm going to work on this one. So make directory STT ST ST STP HTML from TCP. Okay, and let's see if we're gonna find it, or I just need to exit it. Yeah, so let me just cancel this out, clear it, and tmux attach. Come on, http, and so we are in learning this one. Yeah, so we have this, and let's see, it's empty. And we need to create what? We need to create first of all message.txt file, and we're going to save this one, and then we need to module the core mod initial module name, which is going to be http from TCP, the simple one. And I just need to print this out. So let's do this. I'm also going to open a new session so that I can work with open code also can help me finding the bugs around the code I'm writing. So this is how my setup look like. So I just do control A, control J, H and J to just move around the session. So or session or window, I don't know what they called in a tmux, but we are going to work with this. This is how my setup looks like. So right now I just need to create a message. Oh, come on. Let me see, what is this messages? A message. MESS AGES message or txt file, and we're going to paste it here and go back a little bit, and let's create a main file, main.co file. And so let's write a package of main first of all. Okay, and import fmt. We really need that fmt because we need to print something. And let's write a function main with just print what? Oh, sorry, fmt dot print line is going to be, I think, this one. Yeah, and we have saved this. So what we are going to do, just let's initialize this. So let's create another one. So I'm thinking I should also create a another window where I'm going to run the terminal commands, and another window where I can run the neovim, and another window where I can run open code. So let's go back a little bit and let's cancel this out, and I'm going to write npm here and can open code. Yeah, cool. Yes, so this one is the place where we are going to write a command. So we need to create a module to convert that whole thing in a module. So go init initiate mod http, or let's make this capital, type from TCP. Okay, let's have a like dash between it. Okay, so easy to understand. TCP from, I think this is how they are supposed to. Okay, sorry. So we need to put on go mod initiate. Yeah, Yeah, so let's also make sure that you remember the command id. So it is this command is going to do everything, like what kind of a packages they don't remember, like if you want to test it something, it's automatically going to import the test packages, these kind of stuff the command id do. Okay, so if you run tid by id, that's fine. Okay, now if I go run, and this should go me the printout. So we can see the printout value. So if you remember what we have done, so this is the command this is the script we have written, like a printing the I hope I got the job. Okay, wonderful. So let's move to next. So this first challenge is all about the testing our new hire ability to read and write data and from the data streams. So we need to read the data from the message file. Instead of programming, we'll not read the message or txt 8 bytes at a time and print the data back to the std out in a 8 byte chunk. Okay, std out means that you have to show the data in the console. Here are some procedures. So you're gonna use operating system dot open to read the message txt file, and then you can read it from the 8 byte. So we need 8 byte of a buffer, I believe, and bytes of a buffer, I believe, and print the 8 bytes as the text and yeah. So I got the idea. I've already done this before, no? Yeah. So what are we going to do? First of all, let's have a object which is attached to the file. So we need to create that. So constant dot file, and let's also store the error. Let's remove the constant, and I'm going to go automatic declaration type. So it's automatically going to infer what is the type it's going to be. So I'm just going to os. Let's import this os.read file, or read, I don't remember the read. Okay, so read file. So if I remember, read file, read the name and the file, name file, and return the content. Yeah, so this is what I want, and I'm going to write a message. So we have a file object which is like a object. This is going to provide you a lot of member functions. From that you can read the data into a buffer. Okay, so let's just check out the buffer error. Also make sure that if you receive error, if the error is not nil, I'm just going to throw a error, or I just need to print it. Okay, so I'm just going to print it. Print the f line. Let's make sure if the error is a different kind. Okay, if errors is equal to I dot end of the file, if that is the case, then just print like, come on, reach the end of file, something like that. Yeah, and otherwise just throw new error. So this okay, throw new error, if I remember correctly. fmd dot error, something like that. fmd dot error. Yeah, which weird. I'm going to write fmd dot errorf, otherwise received error, something like that. Received error. Let's make sure we also initiate like this, and error. Yeah, so we did all this to make sure that if we received some kind of error, at least we know that we have received some kind of error, just to print that out. Okay, now we have a file, and file as an object. Now I can create a buffer. On that buffer I can read from the file, because the file is an object. Actually, whenever you want to read something from the file, or from the stream, or from the request, you have to create an object to read, so that object provide you some kind of a member function to read from it. Okay, so let's create a buffer, buffer, which is going to be make of a byte. So byte bytes. Okay, bytes of 8. So this is what I want. So I've created the buffer, and so because we are not pushing the error, because we know that our program is going to, or compiler is going to give us a space, and so we have a buffer. And let's see what I need to do. I need to do a loop kind of a stuff to read from it. Okay, so let's create a loop so that I can read from it, because I don't know the size of the file. So how long the text is going to be. If there is a possibility that I already know the size of the text file, I can just create a conditional logic in a for loop, and read from that way. Otherwise I need to write a infinite loop. So let me just write infinite loop, and from buffer, and now I can just read from it. Okay, so read length, th length, and error is equal to file dot read. Okay, so there is a problem. Sorry. So I need to write open instead of read file. Actually, open. Yeah, I need to create a open to access that. Okay, access that object after read. Yeah, read into buffer. Okay, so this file is going to be reading all the data into buffer, and this is going to provide me how much he has read, and E is just an error. So if, yeah, there is a problem. I put the error IO input here, which is wrong. So I think I need to make sure I put this in here. If error is not equal to nil, and I should have put this thing here. Okay, yeah, and I can put a fmt.print f or ln. Yeah, file is not present. Receive error, something like that. Error, and let's just use a format one instead of length one. Okay, string, yeah, error. Cool. So we have a read length. Okay, so we have read it, and if we received, so this one is going to also write a print ff, and also I can think I need to break. Okay, and if I return, I need to create a return here as well, I think, because if somehow it's reach end of the file, it's going to break the for loop. But if some error happens, I need to return it, returned return, so that main function can exit. Okay, so unwind the stack. Okay, this is what I want to do. So we got the read length, and now just need to print the thing which is stored in the buffer. Okay, so fmt.print length, I think, and let's convert the buffer, because this one is going to be byte type now. So I need to create a string types. So strings, and the buffer, and make sure you just do like this, read length. The problem is, no, this is okay, but yeah, so okay, I will explain that concept in the next time. Okay, but this one is just okay. So let's try to run this, and if I run this, let's see what I received. Yeah, I got something, but they are asking me to add the prefix of the code. Okay, so I need to write a format instead of using ln. So I need to write a format, and Edit read. So let's see if there is a space. Yeah, space and s. Yeah, okay. Okay, if I run this now, what will happen? Cool. So reach the end of the file. Reach the end of the file. I think I should not print this one. I got the. I should not print this one. Let me just make sure I just convert this into a comment and run this again. And last one is a read Andy and E is the thing. So let's check the last one, E and the read Andy. Yeah, that is fine. So the 8 byte which we are reading, bytes. Okay, 8 bytes which we are reading, and everything looks fine to me. So let's move to the next one. And this one is interesting one. So instead of reading the 8 byte at a time, it's good start now 8 byte chunk aren't how the people tend to communicate. Yeah, so people don't usually talk like in a chunks, they usually talk in the lines. So you probably noticed that it was hard to read the individual message through your program. Trust me, this is all little. Yeah, of course I know that. Let's update our code continue to read 8 byte at a time, but now let's format the output by line, and it should now print the data in the same format. Okay, but now as represent the entire line of the input, we will do coupling how we represent the pass. Here we create a single string to hold the content of the current line of the file. It's neat. And after reading the 8 byte, split the data into a line to create a slice of a string. Let's call this split section part. There will typically only be one or two part because we are reading 8 byte at a time. After reading 8 byte, split the data on a new line. Okay, to create a slicing of a string. Let call this split section parts. Okay, there will be typically only be one or two parts because there are on we are only reading 8 byte at a time. Okay, so there is possibility that a string or our buffer might contain a multiple slash, and the in that case what should I do? I should split in the first one and add the remember ones backward. We are only reading 8 byte at a time. For each part I expected the last one, print a line to console in the format. Okay, so I need to read a line instead of 8 byte at a time. So we used to I'm going to get the same concept. So let's just see. One thing I really want to see, what is the timing? Yeah, cool. So we have already reading like the file message from it, and now I just need to make sure have a line. So line line, which is going to be string type, something like that. Okay, yeah. So and I think let's move our buffer at our okay, this one is fine. Buffer equal to this and I think I can so let's not redeclare the buffer. Instead of just make sure it's a, global variable. Okay, so read into the buffer, that's fine, and this one is also fine. Now just remove this one. Okay, now I need to check it. Okay, so what this read line contain. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just make sure I'm going to write a parts, or I think let's have parts which is going to be bytes dot dot split and or split n, which is interesting one. So I think split n is slice s into a sub slice separated by spaces and return the slice of sub slice between those separate. If the space is empty, split and a split after each sequence, the count determine the number of sub slice to return. Okay, so at most, if n is greater than 0, at most n slabs sub slice, the last slabs will be unsplit remainder. Okay, the result is nil. Okay, so if I remember, what is this split to? A split slice s into a all subslice separated by separate, and return a subslice of subslice between those separate. If the separate is empty, split after each rectifier is equivalent to the split n with a count of -1. Okay, I don't remember the difference between split n and the split. So split slice s into a all subslice separated by sep and return a subslice. So return a slice of subslice between those separator. If separate is empty, a separate split after each UTF sequence, it is equivalent to split n with a count of -1. Okay, let's just move. Let's read. Okay, so come on. Okay, just to search this out, let's have a chat. Chat is going to teach us. What is the difference? Come on. Difference between LIT split and split in Go. So split and because I'll always get confused in between those are similar, but split and let you control how many splice the string into split into. Okay, they split every occurrence of the separate. So if I do dash, it's gonna print out. Okay, so it's going to split all of that. But if you do like a split n and separated by n, return at most n substrings. So at most, so it is not it is not sure that it's going to give you like more than n, but let's make sure that it's going to give you less than 1, and the substring contain the remain text. Okay, return a or empty slice if n equal to, okay, return an empty slice. Okay, behave the split split all occurrence. Okay, so if I 2, then it's going to come big around 2. So 2 1 2, I don't get it. 1 and 2. Okay, sorry. Okay, so one problem I really faced. What if it's giving me will it give me the -1? Will it give me -1 if no split found? No, if n is greater than 0, then it return at most n string. So it's going to return me 1, I think. So it is not going to give me the -1, I believe. Yeah, I knew it. So if there is no slice, it's going to return me the same thing. So what should I do? So split n is, let's use split n, and we are going to split the buffer with 0 to read length. Why is read length? Because if I'm reading the buffer each time I'm reading the buffers, let's say if there is three three bits are left in the message that I want to read, and if I save that, the other fives are going to be also present in the buffer, the old data. So I'm also going to store that one. I'm going to write the split n on that one as well, so which is a bad idea. We should not do it. So that is why I've done this. So byte, and let's make sure this one is n. Okay, and also another value is 2. Okay, so now if the parts, if you receive if the sorry if the parts dot length, I don't get it. Yeah, part dot length is equal to or equal to 2 somehow. If I receive it, that means something is present. 2, then I'm going to go do what? I'm going to do I'm going to use the part 1, part 2, this kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to push first of all a line, line is equal to plus equal to parts, parts parts 1, yeah, 0. Okay, so I'm adding that. What is that? Yeah, sorry. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, sorry. Bytes, I think. Okay, so I don't know how to add the bytes. That's weird ones. So let me see if the bytes has something to concatenate, contain, or add something like that. No, concatenate. That's a problem. So let me see how to add to bytes variable. Okay, this is how it's supposed to be done, brother. I think so. Line equal to line plus parts of 0, something like that. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, I will just yes, leave it. So I'm going to do that, and now what I'm going to do, I'm also going to make sure I'm going to print fmt dot printf, and here we are going to store the read with like s, and let me make sure, and as well as I'm just going to make sure I convert that whole thing in a string and line mostly. Okay, and now the line is going to be empty one, or I think byte is correct. So array of bytes, so array of byte. Okay, yeah, so I've already add the part 1, and if you don't find anything, if you don't find I think if you don't find, you just add that line plus equal to parts directly. So Okay, so they got it. So it will saying that parts if you receive, and I think so. So if there is nothing present, it's automatically going to come on. Yeah, it's automatically going to give me the same string after that. So I can just access this one. Okay, so line one. And also I need to remember one thing, that I need to add the reminder as well now. So initially, if there is a part to, if the length of the parts is 2, I'm just going to make sure that I add the first part into the line and print that whole thing. And after that, I make sure that my line is empty, and also make sure that I just add the line with another ones, which is going to be the reminder one. So this one is going to be 1. Okay, and this is fine. So yeah, so this one is okay. So if anything left, if uh, if the length of a line, or I say line is still not equal to, if there is if the length of the line is still something, I'm just going to print that whole thing again. So come on, and if not equal to 0, I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to have a one problem, I think. Let's ask the code, open code. Can you check the given uh, main code? Only check check the so NTX syntax error, something like that. Don't check the logic, because I'm going to be fine with it. So let's see. So I don't see any issue. So I'm creating the line as a string of bytes, and the buffer. I'm reading the buffer. I'm then reading the file into the buffer, and I'm checking if I try to split it, this is going to be fine or not. Okay, so if I split the read length 0 to read length, and into two parts, and if the length is come out to be 2, I'm just going to add the first part into the line, and then print that line and empty the line, and the reminder I'm going to put into the line. Uh, as if that is not the case, I'm just going to add the the whole part into the line directly. Yeah, I think, let's see what the error he has found. Okay, the build command is to syntax error found, so not defined by byte. All you need to do is append instead of plus minus. So yeah, I knew it. So that I knew that the problem was that. So I need to add a append logic instead of using. Come on. So append. Append boolean function, append element to the end of the slice if it has a sufficient capacity. Okay, sorry. So I need to make sure I like sure line dot append. No? Come on. Okay. Cannot use the part 0 variable of type as a byte value is in argument. I think it's take a string instead of like a append built-in function element to indirect. It is sufficient the destination or restriction in the element. It does not. If it does not, a new underlying allocate append. It's illegal to append it. Okay, so I'm fine with that. And if I do like to append, I don't get it. Why is this error is coming out? Okay, so cannot use. Let's see. I'm getting cannot use part 0 variable of type byte as a byte value in argument of append. Why is that? Getting. Yeah, right. Use append, but append individual element, not a slice. Slice. You need to separate the operator. What do you mean? Okay, right. You need append, but the append appends individual element, not a slice. You need to spread it out. What do you mean by that? I don't get it. Okay, at least I did not receive the error. Let's see if it's gonna run out. Yeah, the function is running, but I don't get it. Why this is the case? So right, you use append line dot part, but append individual elements, not the slice. So you need to spread the operators. Yeah, when I do the split, it's going to give me the so just need to understand one, because this is how I'm coding the first time. Okay, I've coded it before a different way. Just give me a time. I want to learn this stuff. Can you tell me about in this code? Hey, come on. Stop. Oh, sorry. I have it. Valid expenses, slice unpackings. In your code, you append this. Part 0 is a byte. Okay, byte of a array. Yeah, of course. Actually, if you think about it, a string is actually just a string, which is a array of character. But if you want to represent a string in a bytes, you have to represent in a array of bytes. So you have to you have to append the individual bytes. So signature of appending is roughly the slice array of types or element of types. So it expects the individual element from the first argument without. So but this will try to append a single byte value to the byte, and which is invalid. It will try to append a single byte value to a byte array, which is invalid. Okay, which So you can actually don't attach the array of bytes. For example, yeah. So I have to remember this one. So if you want to add the array of bytes like this one, you have to spread one of the byte. Got it? Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Little bit. So let's move forward. So I'm already working. I've already have done this one. So my program is working fine. I don't see any issue in this one. Yeah. So let's move to the next one. Channel reflector. So if you wrote your code like mine, okay, you can see there his code because it's actually free. There is a good chance that, okay, let's see their code as well. I mean, let's see the code he has written. Okay, so open the file, errors. Yes, of course, defer close. I need to close the file as well now at some point of a time. So let's let's add a defer file dot close. Yeah, I need to close this one. And everything is looks fine. Buffer, I'm storing the buffer as well. I don't know why it did. And the file read if the current and breaks print error. If you receive any kind of error, you just still want to break it. Okay, so I did the same thing, but if you need to print the error out, so you have to write like this. Okay, so string dot buffer, I'm converting the string and I'm splitting the slash n. Why is it slash n? I thought it's supposed to be like forward slash, not a backward one. Come on. So I thought, no, this is correct. Actually, if you do like this one is going to be like this, but I want to do this. Okay, and if the part is okay, current the part and current equal to 0. And the logic is quite similar, but I don't get it. If you split the string number of times, like it has 2 slash n. So if that is the case, if it is 2 slash n, I'm just going to add the part. I'm just going to print the both of them out. That's weird. This weird logic is weird. Let's just move on. Okay, I'm already done this one. Just give me a time to check what is the time. Yeah. I think this is just like okay. Let's continue. Channel refactor. If you wrote your code like mine, there is a good chance that you got a little static machines going on directly inside your main functions. Let's refactor our code so that we have a nice reusable function that read the line from TCP connection. So we need to refactor a little bit, and we need to add this function, create a new function with a signature. So this function getLine channel is actually going to take a io.read closer. So input output read closer, and this is going to return a channel of strings. Okay, so it should contain all the logic you have already written the keep track of the current line contain and it return. Okay, it create a channel of strings. Okay, it does the reading loop inside the go routine. Okay, and if it does not prefix the line with a read, add a new line character at the end instead of sending one line at a time in the channel. Add a new line character at the and instead of sending one line at a time to the channel. Okay, go routine exit when it reaches the end of the file and the channel is closed. Okay, so need to close the go routine when the function return the channel for immediate user by the caller, and functions close the file when it's done reading. Don't close it when the channel is returning. That's too early. Okay, so update your code to this new function iOS file implement the iOS.read and close, so you can pass your file directly to the. Okay, so you can directly send this orders file to this function directly. Okay, because both are implemented. iOS file implements io.read closer, so OS file also implement the io.read close, so I can send it range over the current channel and print the right before prefix and followed by the new line. Okay, so this is a simple one, so I need to just copy this one and let me go into my, where should I go? Let me go into here and let this function, and before going forward I need to create a channel. So I remember, if I remember, to create a channel you need two things: define the channel and also what type of channel you want. Channel and string, I think. I don't remember how to create channel in Go and make channel. Yeah, so this is how it's supposed to be done. So I've created the channel. Now I need to create a go routine. In that go routine I'm going to read from the buffer, read from the file and into the buffer. So this is the file we have, so let's just move this f to the file instead of using the f. So I'm going to let go function func something like that. I don't think it's need of, and I'm going to call it immediately. And let's just make sure line and buffer everything goes into it. Okay, yeah, sorry. So line and buffer is going into it, and this one is fine. And instead of returning like a print, I'm just going to put everything into channels. I'm going to put a line into this. Okay, so channel is string type, so I need to create a byte, array of bytes, something like that. Yeah, array of bytes. And at the end of a day I need to write a channel again and send that everything into the line. Yeah, and I mean what I'm going to return the channel. And yeah, that's the issue, man. I got it. So I need to make sure, because the channel is going to return like a channel, because I have already defined that the function is going to be returning a channel of type string, so I can't do this stuff. So I need to make sure I strings, and let's just convert the whole thing strings. Okay, and let's copy this and paste it here and remove this. Yeah, everything looks fine. So I've written the go routine, and now I just need to return a defer close and channel, and to close it. And let's also just close the file as well at some point of time. Cool. So this one looks fine, and we got something, and let's continue. I'm going to run the function channel equal to what is the name of that function, and let me just go back a little bit and send me the file, because yeah, now I just need to range over it or iterate over that channel. So for string or line and range over it. So if you remember the Go, always say range over it, range over the channel, something like that. I still don't know how to write the for loop in a Go language, but I know the little bit about it. And now I just need to read a printout dot printf. Do I need to do printf? Yeah. Read, and again the same thing is going to be working. Line. Yeah. So let's see if it's gonna work. Let me check one time again. So I've created the channel. Okay, so file close I've already written. File channel close also written. I've created the line of bytes, empty line of bytes, line with empty bytes, and buffer. In that buffer I'm creating a for loop which is reading it, and null if it's break. Otherwise just to like a split n and read from it. And okay, nothing looks out of order, everything looks fine. Let's run this. Hmm. Why didn't it print anything? Get channel is running, I think so. Go func is going to be running on each function, and I don't good. Let's see. File dot close. Yeah, close channel looks fine. And printf. So if I remember, so why it is not calling the function. Okay, let's see if at least it's going to call the 4 lines. And I'm sorry, so I should not close this file directly. I should close that file when I'm out of the loop. File dot close, and it should be differ as well. Okay. What is this error? Differ. Here, instead of doing this, no required model provider package. What is that? Sorry. I don't get it. What is happening? Is my message file okay? Yes, it is okay. And I'm reading from the message.rex, and everything looks fine. If error, the file is not present, something like this error. And differ is I don't get it. I'm writing the getline channel, which is fine, and getline channel, and let's just see that if I'm printing the buffer or not. At least if I'm getting something in the buffer. Dot printf reading. So I think digit supposed to be like this, digit s, and reading length. Okay, if I do that, will it print something? Still not printing. Why is that? It's so weird. Let me go back a little bit, and instead of writing this, return ln. At least let's see if this function is getting called or not. At least let's see that one. Yeah, at least function is getting called. So the problem is, I think, let's see if the go routine is getting called or not. No, it's not getting called. So actually I don't know how. I think this is how go routine is supposed to be written, no? And if I go, yeah, so go func is not supposed to be written. You don't supposed to write func. No, this is not the case. I'm converting that whole thing in a string, and still the issue. I don't get it. Can you check the code? It is not printing, so main. So I think already been 1 hour, so I'm just going to give you the 1 hour. So why did he defer to close channel? The defer runs when the getline channel returns immediately after starting the coroutine, closing the channel before the coroutine can send anything. And for the range in mains is close the channel. Okay, so defer close channel. Defers runs when the get line channel returns immediately after starting the coroutine. Okay, so where should I close it? In a coroutine? Okay, after defer close, place after the loop instead of right after the OS open. Also, it's OS opens file is nil, and defer file close will go panic. I guess in the position of like defer close. Okay, so you should close the channel in a go routine. So whenever the go routine get ended, okay, and go defer close is like fine, I think. Okay, this one is working. So I think the problem was the defer close file close was fine because I'm closing the file when the whole function is getting whole main function is getting closed. But I should close the channel when the go routine get closed, okay, not when the get line function is getting closed. What is the difference? I mean, what if get channel get closed? This it is the same as channel go routine getting closed. I don't get the difference actually. So I think the problem was that this one is here, and I think it should give me the issue. Yeah. Okay, let's ask the chat about this. Okay, so differ close was outside the coroutine line to its range as soon as the get line returns. Getting closing the channel before the coroutine could send anything. The 4 range is main, so close channel exit and immediately and printing the anything move out. Okay. Okay, so the actually what is happening? Let me explain a little bit. I think this is the case. So whenever I call the get line channel, so whenever the get line function get called, is going to run the channel, create the channel, and run the coroutine, multiple coroutine, and immediately. So just like JavaScript doesn't stop for anything, I think Go also doesn't stop for anything. So it immediately going to create a Go routine and just exit out of the get channel. But because you have put the defer dot close into the get line channel, it's automatically immediately going to close the channel. So even though the Go routine is running or will be running, it's not going to give the channel anything because it's already been closed. I think so. So that is why, yeah, I think the idea is exactly that. Okay, so let's move to the next part. Hey, come on. Let's move to the next part. So next part is basically the simple one. So if you think about it, close. So we have done with this. So TCP and everything is going to be in this one. So we need to write like remove all the logic read file instead of use dot list listener. So this one is actually quite easy. So don't forget to close the listener from the program exit. Okay, start waiting for the connection. Okay, so I think I'm going to take a break for a while, and let's stop this. Let's meet you guys in the next video, which is mostly going to around around types of TCP. So I'm going to send the request and checking the request, what the request look like. So this kind of stuff I'm going to do. So meet you in my next video.